next on the list here we have Dark. What do you have for us?
I have a series called Tadaima Okairi.
Yes. Okay.
Um,
So we actually did talk about this quite a bit in when it first came up in our previews, right?
yep,
Because it did have an
yeah,
at least the cover, the booklet cover, right, had an interesting premise written on it. So
yeah,
yeah, yeah. It is a
yeah.
manga original, I believe.
Um,
Yep.
sure
Manga
is.
original,
Um,
and it is being done by Studio
being
Dean.
done by Dean.
If I'm
Yeah,
yes.
this is a much better looker than Remonster. I will say that.
They
No
poured
way.
they
Um,
for sure poured all the money into this. The only money they gave Remaster was presumably to the K-pop people who sang the
they
OP.
poured all their money into this, and just like wait until you hear. Wait until you hear.
Oh my gosh.
So I guess I will start this by going
Now,
through
now
my
tell us about the
experience rather than
Omegaverse.
the synopsis. I'm not going to get to that yet. I'm going to tell you
Uh,
about my experience first. So, I went into this thinking that this was just going to be like a well, actually I read a comment that was commenting on a later episode where they were like, "Wow, I'm glad that they managed to like resolve things with the grandparents." And the
Okay.
grandparents were like able to overcome like blah 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 or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. So this is going to have like drama, the drama of like discrimination and whatnot."
Hmm?
Um, so then in the first episode, um, it kind of just like cold opens with them being a couple, being our two main characters of Fujiyoshi Masaki and Fujiyoshi Hiramu.
Okay.
And Hiramu being the taller, like cooler one, but also is like very much a softy for their son, Hikari. And then Masaki is the stay-at-home dad. Um, so I will say what the series does pretty decently is um what do you call it? The like cuter, the parenting and the family, like the rearing parts are definitely probably the best aspect of the series. Um, a lot of it is very cute, the character interactions with that. Um,
Yeah.
however, however, tires screech, glass shatters, record scratches. Because we get in episode one, I got my first taste of people talking about discrimination.
Okay.
Um, and they go, "Oh wait, uh, that's crazy. Hiramu, what do you call it? Hiramu, you're an Omega, and Masaki
What?
is an Alpha. That's wild that you
What?
guys are together." And then so like there's a lot of this talk about like Alpha and Omega people. And so
What?
I was like rolling my eyes, like I immediately put it down. I'm like 5 or 10 minutes into episode one, and that was when I DM'd you, and I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to make it through this.
What is that?
Um,
Wait, can we go?
yeah,
Wait,
oh,
did
we'll
don't
I
get
worry.
back
miss
to that.
some?
Don't
We'll get
worry.
back to that.
Don't
We'll
worry.
get back to that.
I did a deep dive.
Yeah, near made a big discovery. So
What?
me in my beautiful naivete thought this was just like social hierarchy, right? Like highborn, lowborn type shit. Which even then, I was already like I don't know, dude. Like I don't want to sound like melodramatic, but like almost like offended that that like we're at the point where it's like you have the fucking gall to make a series like about LGBT characters and you just like fucking flip it on its head and you're like, Oh, the discrimination actually in Japan is between alphas and omegas. It's like, what a waste of fucking space. Like,
Can we? I
fuck your
still don't get
series.
the
Like, we'll
vocab.
get to
Is
it.
it
We'll get
is
to it.
Oh,
We'll
we.
get to
Oh,
it.
you'll get it.
But really,
is
like,
this the
what you
Marvel
need to know is
MCU?
my offense is primarily of like, I am like disgusted that you would make a series that borders on like real issues and like has people that face a real discrimination, and you're like, no, 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 none of that, none of the real discrimination in our country. let's do let's do fake discrimination actually, that is completely different, has like completely different dynamics, and is like
On.
fucking irrelevant. Like to me, like, I don't know, like to me it's just like, I was just like, I feel gross, I feel fucking gross like watching this. Like, what? Like, ew. Like, how? Like, I don't know, just because I'm not someone who is like, oh dude, you made a series about robots but it's like slaves. Like, I think that that kind of stuff is still valid, especially the way you like put it together, the way you can tell that story, especially because,
Yeah.
that is a different dynamic than like human slaves, right? Like any kind of slavery, like you can actually add to that and even talk about like, what do you call it, like, what is that called, like the synduality, like things like that, like those
Oh
sorts of
yeah,
ideas of like
more.
man
Yeah.
and tech. Like, you can do a lot with that, right? But like with this, it's like, fuck you. Like, this is already an issue. Like, you're an ass.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I was just like, I think you're an asshole. And I think this is a wasted slot of a fucking series, like a concept,
Mm.
because of it, right? Like, I think a real series about um a gay couple in Japan should take priority over something like this. And
Well, not
all of
not even a
this, all
priority,
of
but it
this.
would just be a better series, right?
Oh, yeah, it'll be a better series. And we haven't even gotten to the Omegaverse yet. So now let's
Hell
get to the
yeah.
Omegaverse.
the
So let's
the
Hell
get to
yeah.
MCU, the
let's get to
MCU
the no,
Omegaverse.
no. Let's get to
All
the
right,
Oh,
you need
okay.
Omegaverse.
fire.
I
Craig
will read the
yourself fire.
synopsis.
Do
Oh
you want me
no,
to read what I read?
I'll read the synopsis and Spire will get whiplash.
Okay.
So here's the synopsis
Well,
on Maul. I should have read this before watching the series.
okay.
Masaki Fujiyoshi is a stay-at-home spouse and parent. He has fought long and hard with feelings of being a burden to his loving husband, Hiromu, due to his status as an Omega. And also, I just want to call out the
What the?
mall people for writing this. The as an Omega, a secondary gender, allowing one to give birth regardless of whether if they are male
What?
or female.
Like Junior?
Oh,
like like the
Yeah,
movie Junior?
and the
do
difficulty
you
they
want a
face to
diagram,
achieve
Fire?
this domesticity.
Fire, you
But
want a
yeah,
diagram?
so their son is actually their natural born son.
There you go, Fire.
Also just throwing it out there, fuck you mall people for putting gender there. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how is an omega a gender? Just throwing it out there. That's not the word we use anymore, guys. Like, to woke scold the shit out of you? Like, seriously? What the
Be a
fuck?
mom. No.
But yeah, so anyway, apparently near now you can go on to your part now that Spire has been hit with this. I didn't know this was a bigger thing. This is apparently a much
Yeah.
larger concept, the Omegaverse.
So yeah. So because when
Well,
Dark was talking about this, I was like, huh, like that's really weird, right?
yeah. It's also
So I
not
looked
necessary, but yeah.
into who wrote this, right? And it seems to be
Wait,
just
is it the same person who did the meteor thing, like from way back when, like the gay
no,
meteor?
no.
Okay.
It seems to be someone who's mostly just a BL author. They have a bunch
Okay.
of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
one volume like short story kind of things.
Yeah,
And this seems
because
to
we
be their
saw the whole bunch
first.
of couples.
Yeah,
Right.
this
Yeah.
seems to be their first main like long form series, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And I read one of the reviews for the manga on Mal,
Oh
and
yeah.
they said that, like the manga is like a good entry point to Omegaverse stories. And
What?
I was like, what the fuck is the
Excuse
Omegaverse, right? And so my
what?
immediate assumption was that like this is like some sort of uh
Code?
like the Omegaverse is some sort of like world that this mangaka has sort of created, right? boy, was I fucking wrong. So I looked this
What?
up, and one of the first things I found was a Reddit post, right? Which was basically, can someone explain the Omegaverse to me? I just don't get it. And the first reply, I'm just gonna read this uh first couple sentence, first few
Oh my
sentences here.
god. Okay, yeah.
Um, Omegaverse originally started as an alternate universe in the supernatural fandom. Typically, but not
Uh,
always, the characters in the Omegaverse are werewolves. Sometimes they're just humans with special features. The most
what?
important thing is using debunked wolf social dynamics such as alphas and betas. And then
Yeah, keep in
a
mind, like Supernatural is in like the
the
show,
show,
The show.
CW
Oh,
show.
the
what?
show, Supernatural.
Oh, damn.
Like with
Um,
Superman, like young Superman shit?
No,
No.
that's
no,
Oh,
that's not
no,
Supernatural.
like
No,
this.
Supernatural is with the what were they called? The Winchesters? Yeah, yeah.
something like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, okay.
Oh yeah, the Winchesters with their cool gun. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Um,
Okay.
Alphas are usually larger, more dominant and aggressive, and have penises that knot, similar to canine phalluses. In some renditions, they go into ruts where they are basically completely controlled by their dicks. Men and women can be alphas, and both can get omegas pregnant. So,
Wait, can alpha males get alpha females pregnant as well?
Yeah, yeah.
apparently, yeah.
Why wouldn't they be able to? I mean,
And
So
alpha and
everybody's
alpha
able to
alpha
get.
females can impregnate alpha males. If that's what you're wondering.
So
no,
So,
everybody can get pregnant
wait,
in
how
this
could
universe.
alpha females impregnate alpha males?
They grow one
Wait, so
yeah,
everybody's
temporarily, apparently.
everybody.
yeah, that's apparently
No,
how it works.
but alpha males in this diagram you sent don't have ovaries,
Listen, man,
so
it
they
just
can't.
it's all
You're saying
speculation.
alpha females
Here,
can
here's
impregnate
the
an
comment
omega male.
that really
I'm
fucking.
on fanlord.org, and it
This
says
is
they
the one that
can.
really sent me into a like actual whiplash.
Large
Okay,
split. Yeah. Okay.
so the
No, that's
entire
saying female
point,
alphas. That's saying female alphas can impregnate female alphas.
yeah,
Okay. Wait.
so
Go
the
on. Go on.
entire
Here.
point of Omegaverse being created was to
Mm-hmm.
justify mpreg, male pregnancy, in fanfics. It started in the supernatural fandom specifically so the fanfic writers could have a gay ship with babies and pregnancy and breeding kink, etc.
Okay. I thought for a second, like part of why, because the link that Toast linked me for the wiki for this shit was just like, whereas some people have is a kink trope, whereas some people have a defined biological rules based on a hierarchical system. And for a split second, I was like, man, these Jordan Peterson fans really like their role play
Yeah,
kind of thing.
so
But
it
it's apparently
basically
just the male
boils
preg.
yeah, it
Yeah.
basically just boils down to mpreg.
Oh
Um,
my
and
god.
apparently this series is part of that fetish. Um, it is an mpreg series.
Now,
So
hold on. Is
Damn it,
this
bro.
are they referring to this as an Omegaverse by the author, or is it from like translators or whoever localized this?
No, I mean they talk about it as alpha and omega. Like
yeah, like it's part of the
they mention it.
series.
It's
Oh, okay.
core to the series. That's why like I didn't know about this. I thought it was literally just like social hierarchy. But apparently not.
Yeah,
So
you were very wrong.
I guess
It's
they
just
like
male preg, yeah.
Supernatural.
so spoiler alert, I actually even before knowing this, I only made it up to through episode 3
God damn
where
it,
like none of this
bro.
really comes to light, but they keep just talking about alpha, omega. Um and I just like was just like done by then because I was like, this is terrible. Like this is awful.
Bro, this
Um
is you realize I just realized this. I was like looking through the Mal reviews first, and then I immediately went back up to the Mal score. So a lot of these reviews are recommending the series, and it always starts with like, "Oh man, I am a big fan of Omegaverse stories," or
Yep.
like, "This is such a."
I'm pretty sure the only people watching this and are like able to like digest what the
Uh,
fuck this series is even talking about are people that are already in this fandom.
Oh,
Um,
what is going on? And this thing had a 7.37. Oh
yeah.
wow, just Oh my god, bro, come
Apparently,
on.
apparently, according to the Omegaverse, I would be a beta because I'm a regular dude.
Oh my god, god damn it, guys. Oh my
Hey man, you do
god.
what you want, like as long as it doesn't hurt anyone. Like
Yeah,
I mean,
alright.
it's interesting though.
I would say that, but like again, I don't know. Like this, I there are very few series I've watched where like watching it, I'm like actually offended in a like just in respect of like it's like you got to go a long way of just being like blatantly like fucking racist or something in your series or like just like horrifically for me like the bar is kind of high, right? Like it's like I can watch. I'm not like out here being like I can't watch a single like harem series because it's fucking it's like a really just disgusting
Bro,
patriarchal
there's
stuff.
so
But
much like
like this to me was like
what is
again,
happening?
like I said, it's just
Bro,
like
there's so much
why?
random vocab on this wiki. What is going on right now? Okay, look, like I don't know even where to start with this. I just is is there smut in this series? What's happening?
But
There's no smut in this series, right?
Okay, so I don't think so because the other thing that like really like didn't pass the vibe check was in the
Okay.
first couple minutes of this series, like what's his name? Hiromi is going to work and he gives
Okay.
Masaki a kiss like before he goes.
what kind of
And
Okay,
kiss?
yeah.
Regular?
Masaki is holding their kid, right? And so it then pans down to just the kid like reaching for Hiromi as they kiss. Like they literally like cut the kid. Like you do not get to see them kiss. And I'm like,
Okay.
vibe check failed. Like what the fuck? Like this is that like no, this series is over. This series should be burnt to the fucking ground. Whoever produced this series like is a fucking piece of shit. I don't care. Again, like there's just something that really pisses me off, especially about and this may be towing a line, but especially about a like fucking Japanese people having the gall to like make a series like this and then be like, okay, but guys, like we can't show the fellas kissing, like little too gay, like we don't want to be doing that, like,
Yeah.
and it's just like
Also,
fuck you, like fuck you, like you
can I
just
also read this? Can I also read this part of the wiki? Alpha and Omega lovers may form pair bonds, often involving mating bites. What the fuck? With a special connection with telepathic or empathetic qualities. In some works, paired alphas may be jealous and possessive of their mate, while Omega may become highly like this is literally reading as one of those descriptions of like BDSM, like basic like descriptions of
Is
that
yeah, I mean,
shit.
of
And
course, like
just isn't
it
that
is a
it's
it's
just
basically
like
fu-
you said, it's like
this
a
is
fucking
literally
supernatural fanfic. Like, of course, there's gonna be
yeah.
biting. It's gonna be like borderline like furry. Like,
Yeah, this is literally just what is it? Twilight for people who like Mpreg, I guess, or
Yep.
Mpreg. Is that the right
yeah,
word? Yeah.
what's
Okay,
yeah,
male
what's the guy's name?
pregnancy.
Yes, sir.
Jacob impregging. What's his name? Oh,
Sam.
who's the vamp?
What?
Who's no the vampire dude? What's his name?
Yeah. I know what you're talking.
oh, Edward,
Not whoever. Yeah,
Oh,
whoever's
Edward.
yeah.
And what's Anthony? Oh,
Edward.
Edward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anthony.
I don't know. I've never seen Twilight.
Tony Cullen. Bro, I saw. Oh
Tony.
man, this is a complete aside, but the only reason why I have seen Twilight is for some fucking reason. Are like we were like acting up in high school and our I want to say our math teacher, it was during our finals cuz like when you were taking like the college level courses, like your finals were just like a burst and then you get a break essentially. Um and then like if no one else finishes, like usually like they didn't like let you leave the school if everyone was done because they were like we don't trust you to not be like literally cheating somehow and contacting each other if we're not literally able to see you. Um, and we were forced to watch Twilight as a punishment because we were fucking being like rowdy.
Did you like it?
No, it was terrible. We kind of like Mystery Science Theatered it, and the girls were not happy about like all of us riffing on the fucking movie. But it
Yeah,
was a
well,
funny watch. It's a very
bro,
funny
bro,
dramatic
fucking
watch.
sparkles in the sun. Like,
Dude,
Can
that was
I?
so
All right.
funny. Like
Oh my god.
that
I
was
think
fucking
I
great.
think
But
that
anyway,
series has
so
pretty much ruined that Edward Cullen, right? Is that who's the actor? Is
Yeah,
that his
Edward
name?
Cullen.
It
no,
pretty
no,
much
He's
ruined
he's
him.
back. Bro is back. It ruined him for a
he's
very long
fucking
time though.
Batman, dude. What do you
Yeah, he's
mean?
Batman now. Like
yeah.
he's Batman. He was in the Devil. Was a Devil Everywhere all the time.
He had
Like
to work
he's
hard.
back. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
he
yeah,
did.
he did. Like
Respect to him.
um, absolutely. But yeah. So it's just like I don't
Yeah.
know. It like again, this series just kind of like gets under my skin. Um, yeah, because of that. Like I just don't like it. They
How's
like
can I ask about audio visuals real quick? Sorry,
yeah,
before
the
you go
audio
back
visuals are
to
fine. Like I
uh,
said, the audio visuals are like
yeah.
very fine. They're very good. Didn't even
Mhm.
realize it was Dean at first because of that.
Yeah, okay.
Um, but
Oh
yeah,
my
like I said,
god.
it's like
Okay.
cozy OP, cozy ED, but it's like, and the cozy moments are really nice. But the fact that it's part of like this fandom, which like honestly, like even if you like this fandom, like I'm not gonna shit on people like because of this fandom. It's the way the
Mm,
series is positioned that like pisses me off so deeply, right? Because like if
mm,
you're someone who wants to make this story or like have this story, like sure. But like this thing, like coming out of Japan, like positioning itself like this and it being part of this fandom in fucking Japan of all places, I'm like, nah. Nah. Like I'm not gonna pretend like, North America is out here being like the most progressive of all time, but like god damn, dude, like Japan's pretty fucking behind on like even LGBT shit
I do
compared to
think
the
it's
fucking
wild that
States.
they would greenlight a gay lover Mpreg series and then be like, but we can't show them kissing.
Yeah, we can't show them kissing, guys. That's
yeah.
way too much.
I
I
also
don't know if like maybe later on in the series they show it, but like in the fucking first episode and by episode
Yeah,
3 I hadn't seen another and it's like are you fucking kidding me?
I also feel like just the general make of this series is a little bit disingenuous, and nobody can tell me otherwise. Just because as we all described, this whole Omegaverse or whatever isn't exactly the most um how do I say this, all ages of genres, right? But
I'm
they're trying
fascinated by this though. This is a
they're
new
trying to
culture that I've
this
learned.
author is trying to make it seem like it's just like a regular, oh yeah, it's just as why part of why Dark got offended, it's just a regular series about some gay couple guys, and it's like, no,
A gay
you
couple
are
and their
this.
kid. It's like, and it's like,
Yeah,
I don't know, all of that paired up like really pisses me off because it's like there's
yeah.
definitely like so many stories to tell about this, especially in Japan. There's so many like aspects that you could cover it that would give, even people overseas a way more unique perspective or like seeing a much more
Oh my god,
different perspective. Even with like, like what are like for me, like I don't know what Japan's adoption laws are like. I don't know what their like gay couple like adoption laws are like. I can't imagine they're great considering
man.
like, it's not even like the US is fucking a shining beacon.
yeah.
But it's like I want to see more of that. I want to know like I want to see what your perspective is on it. And like to go into a series like this and it's like I could name off the top of my head literally 3 series that cover issues of this, like, even better than this fucking series.
Yeah.
Like, you can look at fucking, I said I could name it, but what was it? What was the one that I watched? Sasaki Fumino? Yeah, Sasaki Fumino.
Yes, like
Like,
yes,
that
that's like a
covers
Fumino.
a little bit better of, like, gay relationships, a little bit more.
Yeah. Just
Um,
like something that's like
fucking
fucking normal, bro.
even
Like,
fucking Skip and Loafer even like covers LGBTQ issues just with the trans aunt and
uh-huh.
like just certain like microaggressions and shit that people do around her like as she's
Mhm.
going about her day. Like even just like small shit like that, I'm like, yeah, that's like already better than whatever the fuck this series is
What
doing.
a
Like I don't know. Like I
yeah.
don't like it's just like because
If what it
obviously like
is
even
like
like
I think
BL stuff is fine for me. Like I think that's
yeah.
fine. Like even
The
if you
thing
want
is
to take
what
it
you're
to like
saying
a
is if you
fetishization of like BL
yeah,
stuff,
it's
like
like if you're gonna
sure.
fetishize it, take it somewhere else. Take it to like a fetish kind of like a
Well, I mean,
smut
I
series,
even think
essentially.
like I even think doing that with like like a yaoi series, but not really tackling like issues is like fine. But to
Mhm.
have the gall to like make it in this setting and be like, yeah, we're gonna talk about the discrimination. It's like, are you smoking fucking crack? Like, what are
Just the
you
poor
talking about?
discrimination of men that can get pregnant.
Yeah, like you're out, like you are fucking crazy. Well, I mean, hey, to be fair, these days there is discrimination against that, but not the way they're talking about it.
Yeah, and it's not quite the same.
It's like, again, it's
And
like, I just hate that. I hate the idea that they're like, yeah, like we're making it in this thing where we've now just started to start discussing discrimination, but their kid is their natural born, so we can just brush that aspect of it under the fucking rug completely. It's like
yeah.
just awful, just awful, awful, awful stuff. And it just feels disingenuous, like, and just weird. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's a little
I
bit
just like
Very
it just makes me
unfortunate.
think of like trying to do that with any other group would be just like even more like just a clear cut example of like this is like horrifically fucking gross. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
if you
Yeah,
took another group of people that are already like ostracized and were like, we're gonna write like a fetishized like series about them and how they face discrimination, but
but
it's not
not
actually
because
gonna
of
be like a
anything that
real
they actually face discrimination for in real life.
yeah in real life. We're
Mhm.
just gonna completely fantasticize it. It's like because it moves even beyond something like the what would you call it? This stupid fucking trans explanation in what was that
Oh, and
fucking Crunchyroll series?
whatever spice something. I forgot
Yeah, High
what it's called.
Guardian Spice. Yeah, because like
Yes,
at least
that's
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
at
yeah,
least like
yeah, yeah.
when you're doing something like that, it's like you can still have like a gay couple in like or like a trans person in a fantasy series and you can have them face like you can either have them face like no discrimination and it's just fine because it's already like a fantastical setting. And where I think High Guardian Spice fails is that you can have them face like the real issues that they already that like these people tackle in real
Yeah,
life. But
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
it's in a fantasy setting, but they're still, they're still tackling it, right?
Mhm.
Um and this like does neither of those two. Like this does
Yeah.
the worst of any possibility in that.
I mean, just too blinded by the fetish to actually create the proper story, right? So, very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I guess what rating
Well,
would you give it?
I'm giving this is getting a goose egg. This is getting a zero. This is gonna be my first zero I've ever given.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like I guess like on a technicality, like I would say like maybe like technically this series could be like because it's got decent video visuals and like redeeming
Oh yeah.
moments, like because that's the other thing too is I can't actually no I still have to give it a zero because it's like this doesn't pass for anyone who's like not already into this weird shit to begin with. Um and again, like if you're not going to be able to get past that, right? Like you're not going to be able to
Yeah.
get past like this Omega verse bullshit. And it's just
No.
at
I'm
I
so
least
mean
tight.
like whatever.
at
Like
least I
again like I
learned a
said
new term today,
look
Omegaverse.
an Omegaverse thing is fine and honestly I mean, I wouldn't say the series would be fine if it was still set in the Omegaverse stuff because like whatever, but um I would be less offended if they went the route of not trying to talk about discrimination.
Hmm.
Like that to me would be less of an offending like thing. And I mean that on like multiple levels of just like it just like offends my sensibilities. Like what are you doing? Like you're out of
Yeah.
fucking control. Um yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be like trying to I don't even know like a decent comparison, but it's like you know like when they try and tackle like racism towards like fantasy races or something.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It'd be like someone like doing that, but also being like, yeah, this is also set in like, you know, the colonial United States and the fantasy race just so happens to also be alongside black people. It's
Well, and also it's just
like
and
what are you
then
doing?
the biggest part is
Like you can't
they
do
run
that.
the store. Well, also it would be something like just run the regular story where you know how in Isekai they're just like, yeah, of course, slaves are perfectly okay, or because it's like awesome to have that sort of dynamics going on. You know how some Isekais like just do
Yeah,
that kind of
it's like
casually.
you're
It's
out of
like
your
that. It's like
mind.
that's the problem with
Like
it.
what the
That's the
fuck?
problem with it. It's like yeah, no, it's like what is it? Uh, Harem in the whatever in another world's labyrinth or whatever. It's kind of like that. How that ended up developing, right? Where it's like the guy was just like, yeah, of course I'm gonna buy the slave so I can fuck him in bed. Like, of course I gotta do that. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like don't make a
don't turn the fetish into an entire anime. Essentially.
yeah, I mean, it's like again, you can have like this sort of thing, like keep that in your own shit. Don't fucking put it in like an anime series that you're like trying to say is like a child like rearing series or something and like have like family moments and stuff. It's like, bro, no. Like we're not here, like no one is here for that. And like I know they're not here for that. Because if they were here for that, they wouldn't have like genitalia diagrams for this fucking
Oh
Omegaverse.
god.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Like this is not good.
Yeah. Anyways, enough about the Omegaverse, but thank you, Doug,
So,
for yeah.
so
Go ahead.
is the movie Junior part of the Omegaverse
No,
with
No.
with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny
no,
DeVito? Because
no.
remember,
Unfortunately, no.
Arnold Schwarzenegger drank the thing, right? And then he became pregnant. So
Oh
like,
my god. Yeah.
did it form a did he form a cloaca in there?
Is he an Omega now? But anyways, thank you, Dark, for helping
Yeah,
to
maybe
cover.
don't turn gay people into reptilians. You know, I'm just gonna fucking throw that out there. Like,
Yeah.
maybe don't do
Yeah.
What if they're not reptilians? What if they're secretly chickens?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, or livestock. Like,
Yeah.
maybe don't make them something other than human. How about
And
that?
also, I'm just gonna say, me reading through a few paragraphs of again that wiki on alphas, betas, and omegas or whatever. That's the most
Who
I've
are the
seen.
gammas then?
We're the sigmas, bro. But that's the most I've seen heat used as part of an English paragraph since like my me looking through a Tekken 8 like trailer, you know what I mean? That those couple of paragraphs like, mention, you know, male is going into heat or whatever so many times. I'm just like, what am I reading? Like, please get me out of here. Oh my god. But anyways, I think Dark unfortunately took potentially a bigger bullet than I did this time around. But anyways, thank you very much. This is Tadaima
Yeah, my
Okaeri.
pleasure.
This is a Omegaverse story, if that word makes sense to you. Hopefully it doesn't. Disguised as a regular BL kind of story, but or LGBTQ kind of ish story. But you know, it is what it is. These things sometimes get out there. I don't know what else to say, but yeah, that was Tamae Mokairi.